yung first speech ko in front of 20 people, sa sobrang kaba ko, sa sobrang hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko, umiyak lang ako.
Oo.
Umiyak lang ako kasi
Blanco.
nagpapanik na ako na mental block ako. Nakalimutan ko lahat ng minemorize. I think nung bata ako, bibo ako. Kaya lang may nangyari nung grade 4 ako, na na-trauma ako. Doon nag-start yung aking inferiority complex.
Mm-mm.
So, naging sobrang mahihain ako mula grade 4.
As a public speaker, what is the best advice that you can give to people who are afraid of speaking in front of a crowd?
Okay, my best advice would be,
International keynote speaker.
She is recognized as a Distinguished Toastmaster, DTM, the highest award given by Toastmasters International to its members worldwide.
Program Director at the prestigious Asian Institute of Management, TEDx speaker.
Motivational speaker.
Host and founder of world-class summits like the HR Summit Global, Global Authors Summit.
She's also the founder and host of the World Gratitude Summit.
To date, Shah has addressed thousands of audiences globally.
She is recognized as the Female Entrepreneur of the Year by the United Nations Global Entrepreneur Council.
With our guest, Sha Nasino.
Sha Nasino.
Miss Sha Nasino.
Shah Nachino.
Sha Nasino.
Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest for today's podcast, Miss Sha Nasino. Good evening, Miss Sha.
hi Liz, thank you for having me.
Miss Sha, medyo ilabas ko lang yung pagiging starstruck. Talagang kinikwento ka na sa akin before ni Sir Jerome, pero yun na nga, hindi ko talaga akalain na mag-yes ka sa podcast because sometimes may mga expectation tayo sa tao pag sobrang taas na na ang hirap abutin, pero you're so humble. Thank you so much talaga dahil nag-guest ka sa aking humble na beginning as a podcaster. Thank you so much.
Thank you Liz,
Yan.
my pleasure.
What made you decide to pursue your career in public speaking?
Okay, actually my journey as a speaker and an author as well was more of a serendipity. So hindi ko pinlano before na gusto ko maging speaker.
Okay.
So I used to be employed in a bank. I worked there for 9 years. But in my first year as an employee, I got buried in credit card debts.
Ooh.
And then that's when I started to read books on money management, attend seminars, and seek mentors. Finally, after 3 years, I was able to zero out my debts. And then I had this holy burden to share what I knew to as many people as possible. So I started with my friends. Every time we had lunch or snacks or dinner, I would talk to them about money management. Pero na-realize ko, napaka-sensitive na issue ng money.
Okay.
You cannot just tell your friend, hey, yung credit card debts mo, kailangan mong bayaran kasi ganito yung interest
Parang
sa credit
baka
card.
isipin nila paka-elemera ka or
Oo.
something, judgmental.
Yes, tsaka medyo taboo yung topic ng money.
Mm-mm.
So I had this burning message that I wanted to share but I felt like no one was comfortable to listen to it.
Mm-mm.
So, andun pa rin yung burning message na gusto kong ilabas pero gusto ko rin irespeto yung preference ng ibang tao na siya hindi kami ready makinig about money. In one of the seminars that I attended, the idea of writing a book came to the idea of writing a book was presented by the speaker.
Okay.
So, when I heard that, imagine it was a whole day seminar. Ang naririnig ko lang siya, write a book, write a book, write a book. Parang hindi ko na naririnig yung ibang sinasabi ng speaker. And I felt so uncomfortable because number 1, I was not a writer. Number 2, I hated writing. So, I remember nasa work ako nun and then bigla na lang may maririnig akong boses na siya, write a book. So, natulog na ako, magigising ako ng 2 a.m. May maririnig akong boses, siya, write a book. So, sobrang uncomfortable ko naman. Ayoko nga magsulat eh. Ayoko nga ng
Oo.
writing kasi math person ako.
Okay.
But then, I felt like it was a calling from God. And I decided to heed the call because I wanted to be obedient to God. And then, in the process of writing my first book, I fell in love with writing. So, nung na-publish ko yung unang book ko on money management, companies started to invite me to give talks.
Wow.
And even mga event organizers. When they read that I wrote a book on money management, one of the biggest event organizers in Manila who organized Money Summit invited me to speak there.
Wow.
Yung mga ibang speakers, multimillionaires, billionaires, SVPs, gano'n ng mga big companies. And I was the youngest speaker. The only reason they invited me was because I wrote a book on money management. So, yun yung nag-start. Nabaon ako sa credit card debts na natutunan kong mag-manage ng finances ko. Natuto ako mag-save, mag-invest. Nakapagsulat ako ng libro. And then I started getting invitations to speak. Tapos na-realize ko, gusto ko to. Gusto ko tong ginagawa ko. And in my first 2 years as a speaker, I decided to not charge. Ginagawa ko siya pro bono because I wanted to
Passion
see.
project.
I wanted to test myself. Am I doing this out of love for it, or am I doing this because of the money? So I wanted to test myself. Tapos doon ko na-prove na, wow, I really, really love doing this. Na kahit may mga willing nang magbayad, and then I would tell them, hindi ako mag-charge. So I would use my vacation leaves sa office para mapuntahan yung mga speaking engagements na yun. And then eventually, in 2013, I quit my job. And then 2014, I put up my own business. And then I started doing this full-time. So, to cut the long story short, it was actually out of service. This was where I was needed. And I really, really enjoy it. So, yun.
Okay. Since nandun na tayo sa topic na yung sa money management, dahil marami naman tayong mga kakilala din, especially here in the Philippines talaga medyo mahirap yung sa pagmamanage ng pera. Can you give us a quick, kumbaga, kahit konting tip lang doon sa gist ng book mo, kung ano yung pinaka-effective talaga na mawawala, mapipay out mo yung lahat ng utang mo?
Okay. So, very, very important is really to invest in financial literacy. Kasi you can be well accomplished in your profession, pero iba talaga yung financial literacy. So, know how money works. Yun muna yung pinaka-importante. Read books on money management, attend seminars, seek mentors. Number 2 is kung for example, how to zero out credit card debts, sit down and then compute your net worth. Magkano yung assets mo, magkano yung liabilities mo. And this is the most difficult thing to do, especially pag alam mong marami kang utang, ang hirap niyang harapin. That was my case before na ayoko siyang harapin kasi malalaman ko na moment of truth na to, ganun. Pero yun talaga, you have to know where you are. So, ang ginawa ko nun, kinompute ko yung assets ko versus liabilities. So, nalaman ko magkano yung net worth ko, magkano pagka-negative nun. The third step is to get a notebook and then every month, track your expenses.
Okay.
Kasi minsan dun mo makikita, ang laki pala ng nagagastos ko dito. Ang laki pala ng nagagastos sa coffee. Ang laki pala ng nagagastos ko sa ganitong chocolate or whatnot. Diba? So, makikita mo saan napupunta yung majority ng gastos. So, hindi mo naman kailangang i-deprive yung sarili mo. Pero pwede mong sabihin, 4 times ako nagko-coffee in a month. Maybe gawin ko na lang once.
Okay.
So, yung matitipid ko na ganito,
makaka-help na siya.
Makaka-help din. And then also track your net worth every month. Ginawa ko to. At lahat mga sinasabi ko, ito yung ginawa ko. So, every month, tina-track ko, nababawasan yung utang ko, nag-i-increase yung net worth ko. So, kumbaga, negative, ngayon, medyo malapit na sa zero. Oo. So, yun.
But by net worth, ilang income ba yung pinag-uusapan natin?
Nung time na yun, isa lang yung income ko. Source of income ko.
Okay.
So, actually, yung financial management, sabi nga ni Kiyosaki, it's not about how much you earn, but how much you keep. So, hindi nag-increase yung sweldo ko dramatically. Kasi sa corporate, I think yung increase, negligible nga yung increase eh. Nag-increase siya every year, pero negligible siya. So, little tweaks dun sa behavior sa money. For example, pag natatrack mo kasi yung expenses mo every month, makikita mo, yung lunch out ko pala, ganito pala every month yung nakakain niya sa pera ko. So, how about hindi na ako magla-lunch out? Mag-grocery na lang ako, magluluto ako, magbabaon ako.
So, yung nalilesen, parang ibabayad sa utang. Parang ganon.
Okay. Ibabayad sa utang. Maganda na natatrack mo siya kasi nakikita mo kung nasan ka, nakikita mo yung unti-unti kang may progress,
Mm-mm.
nakaka-boost yun.
Nakaka-boost pag, ay, na paid off ko na yung ito, tas sunod naman ito, tas hanggang sa wala na.
Yes. And then the other tip that I can give regarding credit card debts is to apply for balance transfer.
Ano po yun?
So, medyo technical siya, pero I'm not sure kung ino-offer pa to ng mga bangko. During my time, ino-offer siya. So, for example, meron kang credit card debt na let's say 100,000 pesos. And ang kaya mo lang bayaran is minimum.
Mm-mm.
So, pag minimum mo lang binabayaran mo, ang laki ng interest.
Mm-mm.
So, what you can do is apply for balance transfer. So, if you have credit card debt from Bank A, mag-apply ka ng balance transfer sa Bank B. So, si Bank B, babayaran niya ng buo si Bank A.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, babayaran mo si Bank B ng installment.
Mm-mm.
Na yung
Na
interest,
lesser yung
yes,
interest.
much less yung interest.
Ang galing. Sana meron ganun.
Sana meron bang ganun na.
Alright, thank you so much.
You're
So,
welcome.
going back na pag-usapan natin na yung talagang nakapag-start ng journey mo is yung mag-write ka ng book and then you were invited to speak.
Mhm.
But you had a seminar here in Katarman
Yes.
about how to overcome yung fear of public speaking kahit
Mhm.
introverted ka. And doon ko nalaman na talagang sobra-sobrang kilometrong layo na mas mahiyain ka pala kaysa sa amin na iba. So, tignan natin kung paano po yung like timeline
Mhm.
kasi para mabuhayan yung yung nanonood na okay, may pag-asa pa pala. So, introverted ka until when? Tapos,
Mhm.
kailan siya nag-shift sa doon sa kaya mo nang mag-public speaking
Mhm.
because of writing a book?
Okay, I think nag-start akong... Okay, so, I think nung bata ako, bibo ako. Kaya lang may nangyari nung grade 4 ako, na na-trauma ako. Doon nag-start yung aking inferiority complex.
Mm-mm.
So, naging sobrang mahihain ako mula grade 4 hanggang
College?
beyond college pa.
Okay.
Grade 4 hanggang high school, college, hanggang nag-work na ako
Okay.
sa bangko.
Sa bank, okay.
So, naalala ko, nag-join ako ng Toastmasters ng 2006 kasi sobrang mahihain ko. And then, yung isang advice sa akin ng kaibigan ko, siya join Toastmasters. So, nag-join ako ng Toastmasters around 2006. Ang laki ng naitulong niya sa akin para ma-improve yung confidence ko. And yung kinuwento ko nun sa talk kahapon, yung first speech ko in front of 20 people, sa sobrang kaba ko, sa sobrang hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko, umiyak lang ako. Umiyak lang ako kasi nagpapanik na ako na mental block ako. Nakalimutan ko lahat ng memorize ko. Umiyak lang ako. Yun lang yung speech ko. Wala akong sinabi. Umiyak lang ako. Pero napaka-supportive na environment.
No judgment talaga, no?
No judgment. It was supposed to be a very embarrassing moment. Pero ang sabi sa akin ng mga nandun, it's okay siya. Take your time. Tapos may nakita ko 3 sa kanila umiiyak din. Hindi ko talaga makalimutan yung moment na yun. So, ang ginawa ko, every meeting talaga nagsispeak up ako.
Because
Kahit
it was
mali-mali.
a safe space.
It was a safe space. Kahit may mali ako, I allowed myself to make mistakes.
Tapos after nung like ilang months ba to na kumbaga
Years.
na-feel mo na nag-improve ka na into shy type tapos hinay-hinay na na-overcome. Ano ang like timeline kung kailan mo nasabi na ready na ako mag-speak in public, maging speaker?
Okay, 2006 ako, I think nag-start mag-join ng Toastmasters. Nag-start ako mag-speak in public talaga 2011, I think.
So years ka talaga
Years, oo.
naging active sa Toastmasters.
I was very active in Toastmasters for 11 years.
Wow.
Sa 2006 to 2017.
Grabe. Kaya yun yung common factor din pag meron din akong pinapanood na mga success stories, mga inspiring stories ng successful person. Lahat talaga hard work, no?
Yes.
Lahat parang it takes time talaga.
Kailangan mo maging patient sa sarili mo at sa progress mo.
Ang hirap kasi minsan sa atin, kahit sa akin, like for example sa mga fitness journey, di ba? Parang 1 week pa lang na hindi ka pumayat. Parang ayaw mo na, wala nang pag-asa. Napaka-impatient. Pero thank you for sharing that story. It really means a lot na ganyan talaga yung success story.
Mhm.
Talagang it takes time talaga.
Yes. And get some help talaga. Don't do it alone. So for me, kaya ako naging magaling kaya ako nag-improve and na-reach ko yung ganitong level ay dahil nagkaroon ako ng mga mentors, coaches, and even sa fitness journey ko, I'm at my heaviest ngayon.
Ngayon,
Oo.
talaga?
Oo. So, nirehire ko yung coach ko. Mag-start kami sa Tuesday. Para daily niya ako i-remind ng mga kailangan kong gawin. Ginawa na rin niya ako ng program. Ganun. Kasi kailangan talaga ng accountability partner.
Oh, yun. Yun
Oo.
din yung para pag ikaw lang kasi, di ba, alam naman natin yun. Pag ikaw lang, sige, matutulog na lang ako. So, iba pa rin. Kaya nga, isa sa memorable din na part ng lesson yung sa seminar sa public speaking is yung tawag dito? Yung nag-consult ka sa psychologist. And meron siyang advice na napakasimple lang.
Yes.
Pero because you had skin in the game, nagbayad ka parang kailangan mong sundin kasi hindi pwedeng baliwalain mo kasi binayaran mo yun. So, iba pag nag-invest ka, talagang susundin mo.
Totoo. So, bigyan natin sila ng context ng sa psychologist. Sa sobrang pagkamahiyain ko, feeling ko may mali sa akin. Feeling ko baka may mali sa pag-iisip ko, may mali. Before pa nitong mga talks about mental health, ganun. So, naisip ko, ano kayang mali sa akin? Bakit sobrang mahiyain ko? Ano kayang nangyayari sa utak ko? Ganun. So, nag-consult ako ng psychologist para malaman anong nakikita niyang mali sa akin. It turned out, wala naman. It's just that, hindi lang ako sanay magsalita in front of other people. So, ang isang advice na sinabi niya sa akin was to read a book aloud for 10 minutes every single day. Kasi karamihan sa atin takot magsalita in front of other people, especially pag English. Dahil takot tayong magkamali ng grammar, magkamali ng pronunciation. Ang mundo ngayon, pag nagkamali ka, grabe, ang daming bashing.
Especially sa social media.
Na ano talaga siya. So, pag nagbabasa ka, aloud, naririnig mo yung sarili mo magsalita. Nagiging familiar sa yung mga words na sinasabi mo. Nagiging more comfortable ka kasi nagkakaroon ka ng practice. So, para kang nagpo-public speaking, although wala kang audience, pero naririnig mo yung sarili mo.
At least maging komportable ka sa mga English words.
Yes. Oo.
So, Misha, second question is, as a public speaker, what is the best advice that you can give to people who are afraid of speaking in front of a crowd?
Okay, my best advice would be, ready or not, speak anyway.
Yes.
So, most of the time, we wait for that perfect moment until we're ready to speak. Pero, laging nandun yung kaba. Andun yung kaba, and it's okay. It's perfectly okay. So, pag tinanong ka and pag tinawag ka sa recitation sa class, kung estudyante ka, kung hindi mo alam, magsalita ka pa rin. Wag yung, pwede mong sabihin, ma'am, hindi ko po sure yung sagot. At least nagsalita ka pa rin, di ba? And then sa team meetings, if you're already working, pagka tinanong ka, what do you think about this? So if you have insight, share mo. So public speaking din yun. So ready or not, speak anyway, because as you keep on speaking, you'll get better and better at it. And of course, ang caveat is you will make mistakes. So allow yourself to make mistakes. It's okay. Ang pinaka-importante is you learn from every mistake. And kung pagtawanan ka, di makitawa ka na lang din.
Tawanan mo na lang din sarili mo.
Kung sobrang mapahiya ka, just allow yourself to experience that. Hindi, you're not less as a person kung mapahiya ka dahil sa pagsasalita mo. It could just mean na, itong experience na to ngayon, napahiya ako, pero someday, pwede kong ikwento to.
Yes, this is going to be my MMK story.
Yes.
Wow! So, thank you for that. Question number 3 is, how do you prepare for a speaking engagement? Yun yung itatanong ko din sana sa seminar, kaso medyo stretch na yung hours natin. I'm curious kung sa level mo, kasi
Mhm.
'di ba syempre sobrang taas na ng level mo. Paano ka nagpe-prepare? As in, kailangan bang memorize yung every word? Paano ba? Ano ba
Okay.
yung preparations?
So last week, meron akong dalawang speaking engagements in one day. Yung isa, it was a half-day training for leaders, about 20 leaders. And then yung isa naman, it was a 20-minute keynote for 1,000 participants, CEOs and then global leaders and then the employees. So the way I prepare is, it's very important to have a pre-program meeting with the decision makers para malaman ko ano yung mga problema na gustong isolve through my keynote or training program, and then ano yung success na gusto nila, ganon. So, magkaiba yung preparation sa half-day program versus sa 20-minute keynote. Sa half-day program, madami kang leeway doon. So, ang pinaka-importante doon is, i-determine mo, okay, ito yung main problems na gusto mong isolve, ito yung direction na gusto mong puntahan, ito yung success na gusto nilang marating. So, ang similarities ng dalawa is, meron silang opening, may body, may closing. Yun yung similarity. So, whether half day yan or 20-minute opening, half body, and then conclusion. And then, with the half-day program, usually ang preparation ko dyan is, i-design mo talaga yung program in such a way na the moment you speak, you can get their attention, and then you can keep them captive until the end of the 4-hour session. Hindi mo kailangan script lahat. Pero dapat naka-design, okay, at this ganitong oras, ito yung mga activities na gagawin, ito yung gagawin, ito yung i-discuss ko, ganyan. So, naka-design lahat siya. And then you need to practice it as well.
Okay. So, as in, mag-isa, nire-rehearse mo pa rin?
Nire-rehearse ko
Na
pa rin.
kunwari may kausap ka, ganyan?
Yes. Ang pinakamahirap, ang mas mahirap yung 20-minute keynote. So, sa
Kasi yung
20
time.
Yes, yung time. So, which means you have to be able to get across your idea within 20 minutes. So, ito yung problem. Ito yung solution na ipaprovide mo through your keynote para ma-achieve yung success na gusto nila. Within 20 minutes mo siya i-deliver.
Ang hirap
So,
ng 20 minutes.
Ang main difference nung half day tsaka 20 minutes is that sinusulat ko ng buo yung 20 minutes. So, susulat ko siya, and then babasahin ko. Okay, na-achieve ba niya lahat ng mga, may checklist ako ano yung mga kailangan niya ma-achieve dun eh. Achieve ba niya lahat to? Okay, and then ipapractice ko siya. And then, i-rewrite ko, practice, i-rewrite. And then, saka ko gagawa ng slides. Ngayon, ang tanong kung minimemorize ko ba siya or hindi, minimemorize ko siya by heart.
Yung sa 20 minutes?
Yes, in 20
because
minutes.
Baka mag-overtime ka.
Yes, so very, very important, huwag kang mag-overtime. Kasi pag nag-overtime ka, domino effect yun. You know this, Liz, di ba? Event organizer ka. Oh my God.
Masisira yung timeline.
Kawawa. So sa isang event, kasi nag-organize din kami ng mga events namin before around my books and programs. And kung merong nag-overtime na isa dyan, domino effect yan. Ang daming moving pieces na kailangan mo i-adjust. So, I know yung perspective ng organizer. Kaya ako as a speaker, lahat ng pwedeng magpadali sa trabaho ng organizer gagawin ko. So, for example, kung pupunta ako sa event, ang isang unang kong tatanungin, may timer ba?
Para ma-remind ka, parang ganun.
So, usually, 80-90% of the time, wala silang timer. Naka-prepare na ako. Ako at saka team ko, may timer ng dala.
Okay.
So, yung
paano?
laptop ko,
Nakaharap?
Yung laptop ko, timer ko siya. So, alam na ng team ko anong gagawin. The moment na tinawag ko on stage, dadalhin na yung laptop ko somewhere na makikita ko para makita ko yung countdown. So, kung 20 minutes yung binigay sa akin, sa practice ko, dapat nasa 18 to 19 minutes max.
Yes.
Kasi may leeway pagkatawa yung audience. Di mo naman
Oo.
pwedeng sabihin na, wait lang,
Stop.
tapos na. Kasi may sasabihin na ako next. So, 18 minutes, usually 18 minutes yung ideal. Kung 20 minutes, 18 minutes dapat sa practice ko. Kasi yung 2 minutes, in case na
Yung mga,
sila, audience reaction.
mga pauses.
Ganyan. Oo. And then I aim, if I were given 20 minutes, I aim to finish it at 19 minutes. 19 minutes, 30 seconds, 19 minutes. Minsan, may time na, kunyari, 40 minutes binigay sa'yo. Tapos biglang ang daming nag-overtime before you. So sasabihin sa'yo ng organizer, siya, pwede mo gawing 20 minutes. Yun yung pinakamahirap.
Oo, kasi
Kasi-
pre-practice mo na
Oo.
40 minutes yung time mo.
So mag-isip ka, ano yung ikakat ko dito? Ano yung
ano yung
ibabawas ko? Pero, ang pinaka-goal mo is, huwag kang makipagdebate sa
So,
organizer. Gawin mo na lang kung anong pinapagawa nila kasi pinag-isipan na nila yon.
Yes.
At buong parang big picture na yung tinignan nila.
Oo.
You're one of the moving pieces. Huwag kang magpakadiva. So, as a
I
speaker,
so love you.
as a speaker, sinasabi ko sa team ko, anong pinaka magpapadali sa organizer, yun yung gagawin natin. I have my own cameraman when I do my talks. Sabihin nila, Miss Shah, ang dami na pong cameras, mahirapan, pag ganyan. Sabi ko, gawin nyo kung ano yung pwedeng gawin. Basta wag makaharang sa cameraman ng organizers, ng official. At wala tayong maharang na audience pag pumuesto kayo dun. So, best effort. Ganyan. Pero, dapat walang maaberya na ganyan. Kasi, wag ka talaga magpakadiva. Make it very, very easy for the organizers to work with you. So, yun yung ginagawa namin.
From a point of view, sa akin, as event organizer, talagang sobrang nakaka-happy yung sinabi mo. Because why? Number one, yung event organizer kasi, madalas kontra ng lahat. Hindi nyo alam, we're just doing our jobs and our job is to fix everything na, 'di ba, pag may something sa timeline and you have to adjust. Kaya namin gustong madaliin or makulit kami sa updates or i-monitor namin anong time ba matatapos, etc. Minsan kasi yung iba, very sa organizer, coordinator. Pero yun na nga, ang sarap pakinggan from you, especially from you na napakataas na ng level, na napaka-humble mo, and that should be an epitome of professionals. Kasi ganun talaga. Ang isang hindi na-realize ng iba, especially hindi lang sa event organizer na level ng nag-o-organize ng birthday or wedding, but event organizers kasi maraming hinahawakan din. And especially kung umangat-angat na yung level nila, na yung ino-organize nila is big projects na din, mga ganyan, seminars, conventions. Pag ma-attitude ka or something na difficult to work with, may opinion palagi ang event organizer sa producers or kung sino mang clients na, you know what, medyo mahihirapan tayo dyan. You don't know, di ba, kung pakikinggan yan. So, I think one of the reasons why now na pagtatanto ko, one of the reasons why you're so successful is because ang dali mong katrabaho, napaka-humble
thank
mo.
you.
As in, na-amaze ako kasi sa ganyang galing, ganyang ka-blessed and kataas na level, yan pala yung isa sa mga sekreto mo, na yung work ethic mo talaga, yung humility andyan. Kasi ang hirap ng ang daming preach ng mga ganito-ganyan, pero sabi mo, papadiva, parang hindi pwedeng hindi ma-storbo or something. So, that's very parang napaka wow effect sa akin yun, na ganun pala si Misha. And I'm really hoping din, by this podcast actually, one of my goals is sana yung corporate world dito, yung industry dito sa Northern Samar is mag-invest sila sa speakers. Why? Nag-organize kami and facilitate kami ng team buildings and kung ano-ano pa. And ang pinaka-request talaga nila is games. And ako as a facilitator and nag-host din, ginagawa ko naman yung games, meron siya talagang like reflection. Pero iba pa rin kasi na hindi lang games talaga, yung as in talk, seminar. So, one of my, I think, pivotal moment din na parang yung nasabi ko sa sarili ko na gusto kong maging ganyan. Gusto kong maging public speaker. Kahit na wala pa sa loob-loob ko na kaya ko or something, parang inaspire ko siya because when I was in DSWD before as grievance officer, meron kaming seminar about conflict resolution management. Ang galing-galing ng speaker namin. As in talaga, the whole duration, like 4 hours yata yun, or whole day. Nakalimutan ko kung half day siya o whole day. Hindi talaga ako nag-check ng phone. Parang yung sa'yo din, kahapon, wala. Talagang, yan yung isa sa mga indicator na magaling yung speaker. Yung kuhang-kuha mo talaga. And parang naisip ko, parang ang saya ng work nila kasi they get to inspire and inject kung ano man yung kailangan i-improve, ganito, ganyan. Meron silang impact. And yan yung, alam mo yun, nag-generate ng income. So parang ang saya as a profession. Kaya I'm not closing my doors kahit hindi ko pa ngayon nakikita na talagang public speaker or something. Maybe someday I can be like you. And definitely if I'm going to be a public speaker, you are one of my idols talaga.
Thank you, Liz. Kayang-kaya mo yan, Liz.
Thank you so much. So for our next question, what is the most challenging moment of your career?
Most challenging moment. I think may ups and downs talaga yung business. So in my line of work or in my business, nagkaroon kami ng 2 dips. So sa finances ng business, ang nakatulong sa akin was yung background ko sa personal financial literacy. So may mga investments ako sa stock market, ganyan. So during the times na down yung business, yung yung personal finances ko muna yung tumulong umangat.
Okay.
So I think yun na yung pinaka-challenging na experience ko so far.
Next question, Misha, is what's the most interesting place you've ever visited?
I would say that the most interesting place I've ever visited, or my favorite place right now, is Brisbane in Australia.
Okay.
So a lot of my friends asked me, so siya, ang dami mo nang napuntahan ng mga bansa. Saan mo gustong tumira? And sa
Yan.
totoo lang, wala. Wala. Kasi, so ang dami ko lang napuntahan sa Asia, and then sa Europe, sa US, Middle East din. Pero wala pa akong nakita na, parang gusto kong tumira dito. Until I went to Sydney and Brisbane.
Anong meron dun?
So, eto, yung meron dun is that, number one, ang linis ng hangin.
Wow.
Ang ganda niya, ang linis niya. Number 2, yung transportation. Empowered ka. Kasi whether, may nakita nga akong mom na may 2 anak. Actually, 3 anak. Isang baby, tapos 2 toddler, nagko-commute lang sila.
Wow.
Diba, super empowered ka. May naka-wheelchair, nagko-commute. Super empowered ka sa Australia kasi ang ganda ng transportation system nila.
Walang traffic.
Sa
Or
napuntahan
minimal.
ko, wala. Sa Sydney, I think nagkaka-traffic pero hindi naman ganun kalala. So yun, transportation, maganda. Nature and parks.
Wow.
Kahit saan ka tumingin, may nature, may parks. Beach.
Magaganda yung beach din.
Yung beach na mag-commute ka lang, andyan na yung beach.
Okay.
Parang 10 minutes away, andyan na yung beach.
Ibang-iba sa city, sa Manila.
Ibang-iba. Tapos, next would be, kung nakatira ka sa suburb, pupunta ka sa city, mag-train ka lang, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, nandun ka na.
So parang
Walang
napaka-peaceful.
Oo. Tapos everything is walkable. So nagustuhan ko pa dun, marami ring Catholic churches. And then, after Mass, nagkakape sila. So I think, kung meron man akong gustong bansa na gustong tirahan, yun siguro, sa Australia.
Australia.
Oo.
Do you see yourself na yung family mo, dadalhin mo? Or kayo lang, tapos uuwi ka every year sa Philippines?
Okay, so ngayon single pa ako.
Okay.
Hopefully, pag kinasal ako, kaming 2 ng husband ko,
Doon talaga.
maghahanap kaming 2 pareho ng bansa or lugar kung saan namin gustong tumira. Hopefully, magustuhan din niya yung Australia.
Wow. For
Kasi
sure.
gusto ko ng Australia.
Wow.
And then, ang plano ko is, importante sa akin yung flexibility and mobility. Gusto ko pa rin makauwi sa Pilipinas at least twice a year. And then, makasama yung family ko. Yung sila papa ko, mga kapatid ko, ganyan. right now, nakakauwi ako sa province namin mga 5 to 6 times a year.
Okay. Saan po yung province nyo?
Isabela.
Isabela. Alright. So, for the last question, 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Like, professionally, saan na yung naabot ni siya?
Pwedeng personally muna.
Personally. Sige.
Okay, personally, 10 years from now, happily married
Okay.
with kids.
Kids? How many
And then
kids
traveling.
do you want?
2 pwede na.
2 pwede na.
Traveling with my husband and then homeschooling or world schooling our kids. And then professionally, I would still be doing what I'm doing, giving talks. And then yun, for example, as a family, mag-uusap kami ng husband ko. Oh, saan natin gusto mag-travel? Gusto natin sa ganitong country. And then, meron lang akong i-open up ko lang, for example, sa Facebook ko or sa LinkedIn ko na I want to travel to this country. If there are any seminars or events, tapos yung mga event organizers na or companies na yun, come to our country, we'll host you.
Yan. Yan ang manifestation.
Yes.
For now, halos malapit naman na, I think, to where you are and sa bait mo, sa work ethic mo, sa humility mo, I'm sure maabot mo yan.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for guesting sa aming podcast, and I really hope na when the time is right, pag ready na mag-invest ang aming mga clients to get guest speakers talaga on their corporate events, team building, whatever. Sir Jerome can be a speaker, Miss Sha can be a speaker, just message us. And before we end, we would like to invite you. We're going to participate in a play August 17. So watch
musical
out.
play.
Musical play for San Roque.
Yes, ang galing
Yes.
ni Liz.
Oo.
Nakikita niyo gaano siya kagaling kumanta.
So labasan ng talent, but yun na nga, all for the glory of God.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much. Palakpakan natin
Thank
si
you, Liz.
Misha Nasino. Until next podcast, this is Liz G. Bye!